Welcome to Take It from the Iron Woman. My name is Susanne Müller, your host and the Iron Woman. This podcast is about empowering yourself and others to make real changes in the world. You will hear from everyday, smart, sophisticated, hip people like you and me. Not everybody has to be an Iron Woman to impress the world. Together, we will learn from the sports and business leaders how you can become a more successful person as an entrepreneur or a leader. It's one step at a time, one day at a time. Take your steps now. Take your big steps now. Join me on this journey to success. Take it from the Iron Woman. This is actually what's happening when you talk too much, when you have too many things in common. So here we have Shawn again with us. This is a bonus episode. I am certainly interested in women running. How did that come all about? Shawn has seen many developments and certainly developments for the better. Chime in today. Let's listen to him, what he has seen over the years. My interest is about women running because obviously I'm a woman. I started to run in 1993 was my first marathon. There were many women. I was at the women's start in New York City. So for me, running has always been there. But tell us a little bit about the women's running. You've seen that movement.
Well, yes. When I first started doing road racing, I mean, we had in our high school, we had no girls track team until I was about a junior in high school. And road racing, there were no women road racing back then in the 70s. Not probably, I'm thinking 1974, 75, maybe 76. We started seeing one or two which show up. And everybody knew them, and yeah, okay, there's, in fact, one of the road races I ran when I was 15 or 16, it was a 10 miler. And there was a woman right there next to me the whole time. And I'm like, this is crazy. Like, I can't lose this woman. It turned out to be 40 Madeira, who was from Sherburne and was a 2:30 marathoner. It was just, or 2:35 around that time, and was just breaking into it. She was one of the first in the area. Yeah. And also in high school, I knew Lynn Jennings, who was a world-class runner later on in college, but she went to high school, 2 or 3 towns over from me, and her coach used to confer with my coach on training techniques. I knew Lynn from way back when, but I don't think that women really started running. Probably around 1978, 79, 80 is when the big running boom happened, and then women started filtering in. I was amazed. Between 19 and even when I was racing in the early 80s, there were a few women, but not a lot. And then I didn't race again until about 2008, and I realized at that point that 53% of the people here are women. Yeah. And it was I was just like, this is so fantastic. Yeah. Because it was no longer we were just the odd geeky runner guys. It was everybody, and it was all inclusive, and I really loved that idea.
Beautiful. Yeah. And since you are in the Boston area with the first woman running in Boston as under the name of a man, right? I think that's amazing what happened there. And yeah.
Well, there was a club in Boston called the Liberty AC, which is a Liberty Athletic Club, and that was one of the first women's running teams in the country. And they're instrumental in bringing a lot of people in.
Well, Boston is the mecca for the running, right? It's the Boston Marathon. It's the Mount Everest for the runners. So it's the best place to be.
Yeah. Right. It certainly is. Yeah. But no, I thoroughly enjoy having women out there, and it's just a fantastic thing. And I can't say enough about it.
That's good. We're happy to see that. I think it's also for young women or girls, like it's empowering you. You get to the competitive edge. So we as women, as girls, we need to learn that because sometimes we don't have that self-confidence. So I think running is very good.
Oh, absolutely. And when I ran in Wellesley High School, our cross-country team was basically 16 guys. Right now, I believe that Wellesley cross-country team has over 100 participants, and I think about 60 of them are women. So it's a huge, huge deal. You go down to the cross-country practice, and they're just all these older girls and women, young women, who are just out there, and they're taking it, and they're making their way, and they're really empowering and great to see. And they're going to take the life lessons that they learned through running about hard work and discipline, and they're going to carry that through their whole life, and in, as well as the guys. But it's really a great thing. And running is a disciplined sport. It's very rewarding, and you can do it by yourself. You can do it in a team, and it pretty much encompasses all aspects of your life and what your life is going to be.
Yeah, I think so. Especially when you start at a young age, it's about the dedication, the endurance. Sometimes we also have to learn with the injuries, like how can we get over this? And especially when they're young, about the plateau. So they go every time, probably you've seen that, you go faster, faster, faster. And at one point, there's no more faster. And then you're like, what do I do? Train harder, do weight training or whatever, right? And then
whatever,
there's
or train less sometimes. It's never linear.
I
mean, there's always plateaus, and then sometimes you overtrain and you have to back off, and you have to have a good coach to know when that happens. But yeah, you have to go through all these processes in your life and in your training. And like I said, it encompasses all aspects of life. You have to learn, and that's how it affects everybody, I believe.
What about you? Have you been a coach or not?
No, I never really got into coaching. Mostly it was time constraints.
Okay.
I've never had the time constraints. Although a few of my best friends are coaches. Yeah. And but I own my own business, and I kind of have to cater to my own time schedule. So
we all have other things to do.
And the level of expertise now in coaching, it used to be that our coaches were, the high school gym teacher or the math teacher who used to run in high school or something like that. But now the training programs and the training they have to go through is pretty intense. And I mean, it's extraordinary the amount of knowledge and that the coaches have nowadays. And you really have to listen to them.
It's not only putting on your shoes, like it's the mental, it's the nutrition, it's the being present and everything. Yeah, it has changed.
Yeah. No, it's a big thing.
All right, wonderful. So keep up the running, keep being happy and healthy. I think that's also what we need to be when we get old. Be happy where we are now and stay healthy.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Suzanne.
Interesting to hear from Shawn to talk about the women's running. Actually, we need the women in the races. I love all the races that are men and women competing against each other. Again, many more marathon stories waiting for you. Chime in every Monday morning. We'll have a new episode. Take it from the Iron Woman. Leave us a comment. Thank you very much.